Battle Through the Heavens, Chapter 204. A terrifying powerhouse lineup appears under the desert moon. The poisoned arrow slices the air, forcing a jagged breath from lungs tight with heat. He twists from the strike, his feet barely catching the dunes as the predator's focus yields to the vast, silver vacuum of the wasteland. High above, a heavy moon watches a dark streak tear through the sand, churning the silence into a violent, windswept roar.
A massive moon loomed in the sky above. Its ethereal, shimmering light blanketed the desert, making it appear as though the entire wasteland was covered in a layer of silver gauze. Swoosh! In the quiet desert, the sound of rushing wind suddenly rang out. From far to near, a black shadow abruptly appeared from the northern horizon. It then shot across the midair. Because of its high speed, it generated a powerful whirlwind, creating a sand tunnel like a long tail extending over 100 meters into the desert. In the midst of the swirling dust, the black shadow slowly disappeared toward the horizon on this side. But before the golden sand in the sky could even settle, a second black shadow appeared. Its chasing speed was even more ferocious, directly doubling the width of the sand tunnel created by the previous shadow.
Damn it! This woman was far too patient. I am just a small doshi. Is it worth her wasting so much energy to chase me?
His wings vibrated rapidly. Xiaoyan suddenly heard the sound of rushing wind coming from not far behind him. Tilting his head slightly, he looked at Yue Mei, who was rapidly closing in from behind. Although they were quite far apart, he could still see the smile on her beautiful face. A playful look, like a cat toying with a mouse, flashed across her features. He could not help but smile bitterly.
Teacher?
Lowering his head to glance at the black ring on his finger, Xiaoyan urgently called out in his heart. The noisy calling lasted for only a moment, but he did not receive a single answer. Xiaoyan knew what this represented. He shook his head, feeling his luck was truly foul.
Teacher, this is a Daowang level powerhouse. This is not the way to conduct training.
Muttering a few bitter words, Xiaoyan helplessly shook his head. He took out a qi recovery pill and popped it into his mouth. Then his wings flapped and his speed increased once more. Yue Mei followed closely behind Xiaoyan at a moderate pace. Seeing his fleeing figure chased into a miserable state, she could not help but smile seductively. She said in a soft, laughing voice,
"Little boy, why don't you follow Big Sister to the tribe to play? Don't you humans love taking us snake women as slaves the most? I will also take you as my slave. How about it?"
The faint sound of laughter rang out. Under the effect of Douqi, it was accurately projected forward into Xiaoyan's ears.
Big sister, if you want to be in heat, you should go find someone with a stronger body. I am skinny and frail, and I certainly cannot satisfy you.
Even though Yu Mei's voice was soft and flirtatious, Xiaoyan still sensed the icy cold killing intent radiating from her. He immediately stopped being polite and turned his head to shout back loudly.
What a sharp-tongued little boy.
Hearing Xiaoyan shout, Yu Mei's expression suddenly turned cold. Gnashing her teeth, her slender arm suddenly reached out. 5 streaks of green energy shot out, twisting around one another. Finally, the energy condensed into 5 massive green snakes. The energy snakes broke through the air resistance like lightning. In the blink of an eye, they reached Xiaoyan's back. They opened their mouths wide, revealing fangs, and bit down savagely toward Xiaoyan's back.
Relying on this?
Tilting his head to see the 5 massive green snakes appearing behind him, Xiaoyan was startled. His body twisted in a strange, desperate struggle. With extreme danger, he evaded the pursuit of the 5 devouring green energy snakes.
Get down there.
With a cold face and a laugh, Yu Mei's slender arms swung. The 5 massive green energy snakes slammed heavily against the purple cloud wings on Xiaoyan's back. Suddenly suffering a heavy blow, Xiaoyan's face turned pale. He let out a muffled groan. The purple cloud wings on his back suddenly turned into tattoos pressed against his skin. After that, his body rapidly plummeted.
Whoa!
The sound of the wind whistled violently in his ears. Xiaoyan's hands flailed wildly. A moment later, a muffled thud echoed from the ground. His body crashed into the side of a sand dune. Floating in midair, Yue Mei lazily stroked her long hair. Her pupils scanned the sand dune. She slowly stepped through the air, descending. She said with a long laugh,
Little boy, your cursing was quite harsh. Now I want to take you as a slave even more.
Puh!
Crawling out from the sand dune, Xiaoyan spat out the golden sand in his mouth. He looked up at Yue Mei, who had already walked to within 10 meters of him. His eyes swept over her enticing water snake waist. His eyes narrowed and his body went still. A powerful energy explosion suddenly rang out from within the sand dune. As the sound echoed, Xiaoyan's body shot up like a cannonball, aiming straight for Yue Mei standing not far away. While in midair, Xiaoyan flipped his palm. The massive heavy Xuan ruler suddenly appeared. Along with a ferocious wind, it smashed down toward Yue Mei's head.
This little boy is quite ruthless with his hands, but this is useless against Big Sister.
Amidst the light laughter, Yue Mei's snow-white hand slowly rose. With a slight wave, overwhelming dark green energy erupted from her palm. Finally, it transformed into thousands of tiny energy snakes that surrounded the heavy Xuan ruler and its contained force. His striking power was easily neutralized. Seeing the heavy Xuan ruler surrounded by the energy snakes, Xiaoyan frowned. Without hesitation, he let go of the ruler's handle. His body shifted and spun, appearing in front of Yue Mei in an instant. He took a step forward. Xiaoyan's body suddenly surged close to Yue Mei's body. Both his hands clenched tight, his strength suddenly skyrocketing as he shouted,
8 extremities collapse!
His fists, containing terrifying force, savagely struck toward Yue Mei's towering breasts in a furious attack. This was clearly Xiaoyan's full-strength strike. He did not hold back a single bit of power.
Not bad strength.
Faced with Xiaoyan's ferocious attack, Yu Mei's eyebrows knit slightly. She gave a short evaluation. Just as his fists were about to make contact with her body, her soft frame suddenly struggled in a strange snake-like manner. The fists containing terrifying force passed right through the space where Yue Mei's breasts had been. This extremely powerful close combat attack from Xiaoyan was actually avoided by her with such ease.
Ah, little boy, no matter how exquisite your techniques are, with the current difference in strength, they naturally won't have the slightest effect.
Yue Mei's soft body drifted past. Her beautiful face was barely half an inch away from Xiaoyan's. Seeing that the youth's expression remained unchanged, Yue Mei smiled faintly. Her body leaned forward, and her alluring red lips lightly kissed Xiaoyan's forehead, leaving a very provocative lipstick mark. Plop! Having failed a heavy strike, the sensation of hitting nothing but air made Xiaoyan's face turn pale. He let out a groan and fell onto the sand dune.
This is the rank difference. It is fundamentally not something that any item can compensate for.
As soon as his body touched the sand, Xiaoyan pushed off with both hands. His body performed a powerful mid-air flip and finally landed a few meters away from Yue Mei. Looking up at the laughing Yue Mei, he could not help but smile bitterly in his heart. After landing, Xiaoyan wiped the lipstick mark on his forehead. He suddenly felt a slight dizziness. His expression changed instantly. He hurriedly took an antidote pill, which Yao Lao had personally refined from his ring. He swallowed it quickly, and the dizzy feeling significantly improved.
Damn it! Even this woman's mouth is poisonous?
Using his sleeve to hurriedly wipe away the lipstick mark, Xiaoyan cursed furiously in his heart.
Oh, this little boy actually has such a high-quality antidote pill?
Seeing that Xiaoyan could actually withstand the poison she had applied, Yu Mei could not help but speak with some surprise.
There isn't much time left. Better settle this quickly. Little boy, if you don't want to be Big Sister's slave, then you can become a pile of white bones lying in the golden sand.
Looking up at the moon, which was becoming even brighter, Yu Mei lost some of her patience. Her face still wore a faint smile, but it now carried a trace of coldness.
Teacher, I really cannot beat her. If you don't act, I will just be captured.
Seeing the sharp aura Yue Mei was slowly emitting, Xiaoyan sighed helplessly. He actually sat down directly on the sand dune. He spoke with a bitter smile in his heart.
Little boy, don't worry. Someone is coming to save you soon. Do not call me during this time. Among the people approaching, there is one whose spiritual perception is very strong. If I keep communicating with you, I'm afraid they will sense my existence.
Yao Lao's voice was fast and urgent. After he finished speaking, he fell into silence. This unexpected answer left Xiaoyan's face full of surprise. His spiritual sense quickly checked the surroundings. A moment later, his expression was quickly composed. His eyes swept across the surrounding desert. Aside from the sand everywhere, it was completely empty. There was no sign of any rescue party.
Just what are you doing?
Yue Mei, standing opposite him, walked over slowly with a face full of smiles. Seeing that he could not resist, Xiaoyan could only whisper with a bitter smile.
All right, little boy, come with Big Sister?
Yue Mei stepped lightly in front of Xiaoyan. Her slender arm waved slightly as dark green energy flickered. However, just as she was about to capture Xiaoyan and take him back, her smiling face suddenly froze. She abruptly looked up, her eyes looking coldly toward the eastern sky of the desert. Everything became quiet for a moment. Then, two figures suddenly appeared from the eastern sky. Not far behind the two, a third figure appeared, flickering in and out of sight.
Haha, I said there was the scent of a snake person over here, as expected, and it seems to be someone of significant background.
The figures quickly grew from small dots to large forms. A hearty laugh, amplified by Dou Qi, echoed throughout the heavens and earth of this desert region. Boom! In the sky, the two figures suddenly stopped. They appeared abruptly, and the sharp sound of rushing wind was like a clap of thunder in midair. Xiaoyan looked up in surprise. Seeing the two figures appearing above his head, his pupils suddenly contracted. After a long while, his throat moved as he swallowed a mouthful of saliva.
2 Douwang powerhouses?
When these two appeared, Yue Mei's expression below became extremely solemn. Her gaze, which had been fixed on Xiaoyan, shifted. She stared coldly at the two people in midair. Not long after the two appeared, a clear shout also echoed everywhere. A distant black dot gradually grew larger. A moment later, a massive green magical beast appeared in the sky above the desert.
Ah, there really are people here.
After the massive magical beast stopped in midair, a wave of laughter rang out. Suddenly, 6 silhouettes jumped down from the back of the magical beast. They finally landed lightly on a sand dune not far from Xiaoyan. His eyes hurriedly swept over the place where the 6 silhouettes had landed. Xiaoyan's pupils, which had already contracted, became even smaller. He discovered that among these 6 people, 5 were Douling powerhouses. The middle-aged man leading them was a Douwang. But what shocked Xiaoyan was a black-robed person standing next to this middle-aged man. He could vaguely guess the strength of the others, but this black-robed person gave him a mysterious feeling, just like Yunxi when he first met her.
A Du Huang?
A wave of shock appeared on his face. Xiaoyan's heart was currently like a surging tide. 5 Douling powerhouses, 3 Douwang powerhouses, and one person who was likely a Douhuang super powerhouse. Such a terrifying lineup appearing in this desert. What exactly were they plotting?